What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to Primetime East Coast Night Show podcast number one. This is where we talk about all the hit news, stats, scores, parlays, betting odds, and controversial matters that head all the way to the league's offices. And we just chat and have a good time and leave your opinions in the comments below. And remember to leave your username so we could get back to you with the exclusive deals for who wins the grand prize. Okay, so today was game 2 of the NBA and NHL playoffs. And let's get into that. So first of all, we had my Leafs. That was a very interesting game. Because we bounced back for once, like we're facing the Boston Bruins, and we haven't beaten them since the 60s or some crap like that. And so there's a curse that we always lose to them in the playoffs. But you know what happened? We just took down their buttholes in Boston. They took a 1-0 lead. Then we tied it up 1-1. Then they took a 2-1 lead very shortly after that. And everyone was like, oh man, you know what? It's the same old. There's no way we're coming back, because in game 1, we got blown out like 4-1 or some crap like that. So we're expecting more of the same. But I said it from the very first 5 minutes. From the very first 5 minutes, we had some offensive zone pressure. And we were winning the 50-50 battles in our end and in their end too, and we had sustained pressure and we were out shooting them, and so it was pretty even match. They had good goaltending, but we had very high hustle effort, you know what I'm saying? So we ended up tying the game at 2-2. It was a very nice goal. Matthews to Tavares. Was it on a power play or some crap like that in the high slot? Very, very nice and sweet. And then after that, I believe it was, what's his name? Max Domi shot a chip shot from the neutral zone. It was like a through ball. Like in FIFA, a through ball, a lob. It was a lob. He lobbed it to Matthews, who caught it in the air, put it down on the blue line, semi breakaway, backhand, forehand, and that was the game winning goal, 3-2. So the Leafs tied up the series 1-1, and now we're headed back to Toronto. And that's, of course, the match of the entire year. Nobody's watching any other sport. Nobody's watching Champions League. Nobody's watching NBA. Nobody's watching the other hockey games. Everybody is expecting what's going to happen when the Leafs host Boston tomorrow. Oh, actually, Wednesday. When the Leafs host Boston Wednesday, what's going to happen? That's what the whole worldwide internet web is watching, and we're gonna be here to break down all the news and stats live on Primetime East Coast Radio. And then what other games did I watch? Well, so the Oilers apparently beat the Kings 7-1, which was expected because it was at home. It was a very loud crowd and they were very pumped up, and they just dominated them right from the start. Vegas upset the Stars 4-3. I was that's an interesting matchup. I didn't watch the game, but that's neato. That's neato. Hurricanes beat the Islanders. They came back from 3-0 or 3-1 or some crap to make it 4-3 in the third period after pulling their goalie at home. Yeah, that's another East Coast matchup. The Islanders and the Hurricanes. The Canucks, hallelujah. All the Canadians teams won. All the Canadians teams won. And at the end of the day, that's all that matters, folks. Whether your parlay hit, whether your sports bet came through, whether you hit the overs, hit the unders, all that matters is that the Canadian teams won. That's it. Because we need a Canadian team to win the Cup. Because the Cup was born in Canada. So since the Cup was born in Canada, that means a Canadian team needs to have their name on the Cup. Otherwise, it's just chaos. It doesn't make sense. So, the Canucks won. The Oilers won. The Leafs won. The Jets beat the Avalanche. Oh my goodness. There's too many Canadian teams to count. We can't travel. Canada's big. We can't do all this traveling for the games, you know? Who else? Wow. Wow. So those are the game ones. Only Leafs and Bruins are tied 1-1. Every other Canadian team leads. Anyways, let's get on to the Champions League. The only match that really there was Bayern Arsenal. And Bayern took down Arsenal 3-2. I should have watched that. Dortmund, Atletico. Who's watching Dortmund when you got Bayern? Barcelona, PSG. Ouch, that was a thrashing. PSG thrashed them 4-1. Barcelona. And then the match we all wanted to see, Real Madrid and Man City. I watched that game. First, it was very tough for Real Madrid because at home we lost, like, we gave up a lead and then we were suffering 2-1 and then 3-1 or 3-2 or some crap. But then we tied it up 2-2, I believe, or 3-3. Luckily, away goals don't count. So we tied it up and we managed to come off with a draw. And then at home, it was 1-1 again. Man City dominated in possession and passing and kilometers ran, and but they couldn't finish, even though they say that's what they do all season. They put pressure on their opponent and they're used to attacking bunkers and breaking down the defense. They couldn't do that against Real Madrid because we're just top. And Real Madrid ended up winning on penalties. Yeah, biga, man. Yeah, biga. What are you gonna do? Man City? What are you gonna do? Yeah, biga, you lost on penalties. Should have broke down the bunker. Should have been more aggressive. Yeah, you had 60% possession, but if you don't score, you should have held the lead at home and at away. But you didn't. You couldn't. Vinicius Jr., Rodrigo, Luka Modric. Who else? I don't know. But just now we moving on, right? Are we moving on? Next, it's Real Madrid and Bayern. Oh. And PSG against Dortmund. So it's going to be PSG in the finals against Real Madrid or Bayern. Ooh. PSG is not going to win it, though. They never win. So it's going to be Real Madrid or Bayern winning another 12th Champions League trophy. But we all know the real team that upsets everybody every year is Red Star Belgrade. Sadly, they lost in the semifinals this year. So they couldn't make it because on a technicality, they lost on a technicality. So Red Star Belgrade will be back next year. And then you know, this other bullcrap. We watched the NBA. I tuned in halfway to watch this blockbuster of a game, Denver Nuggets against LA Lakers. And Denver had a 1-0 lead in the series, and then the Lakers in game 2, I thought it was a joke or some shit. They were Lakers in Denver up 20. Damn. And then I just tuned in, and all of a sudden the Nuggets started to pick up the fire. And they cut down 5 points, then they cut down 6 points, then they cut down 4 points. And all of a sudden they cut it within 3 or 4. And then Jamal Murray, Canadian, hit a buzzer beater, and they ended up winning the game after being down 20 in the fourth quarter. LeBron was really clutch. He impressed me. There was a lot of times where LeBron just took over and extended the Lakers' lead late in the fourth quarter. That was really impressive to watch, those buckets and those layups and those threes. But then everyone's going to get mad at him because he missed the open 3 in very clutch. And then Jamal hit his game-winning 2. So unfortunately, Denver leads 2-0, both games at home. And now the series goes back to LA. LA was up by 20. Wow. Ouch. 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 Damn. And so that does it for the sports recap. Looking forward to OKC because Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, the Canadian MVP, possibly, is on OKC, the 1 seed. Did they lose? No, they won. I forget the score, but apparently we won. So they face the Pelicans. Yeah, all I really care about is the OKC and the Pelicans. Maybe the Mavs and the Clippers. Clippers lead 1-0. Shocking. Without Kawhi Leonard. Boston and the Heat. Boston and the Heat. Oh my god. Yeah. Nuggets, Lakers, and Pelicans, Thunder, and Mavs, Clippers. But enough about the NBA. Who watches the NBA? Bunch of people gambling for money. We got to keep an eye on the Champions League. When does that? April 30th. Tune your calendars for April 30th, end of the month. 1 week from now, Tuesday. Next Tuesday. Bayern, Real Madrid. First leg. And then the following week after that is leg 2. Bayern and Real Madrid. And it's a long series between the Leafs and the Bruins. The overs and unders are 3 points, 5 goals, 2 assists, 104 shot clock, and parlay of Auston Matthews scoring a goal in the first period. That's the parlay. It pays out 3-1 or 4-1 if you're on a Canadian betting site. And always be responsible with your gambling. Don't gamble at all. Just fucking cheer for your team. And we out here. This is the Primetime East Coast Radio, where you get your news, stats, and podcasts. Subscribe, leave a like, tell a friend, share it with your social media account. And until next time, see y'all tomorrow night.